Hello, this is Rank Carcass. I got a quick video, like a after-action report on a completed game. We had a house rule, actually two house rules in this game. The first one, we had medium factories. I could build 3, along with the original minor factories and major factories. Not that much to say about that. There you go. I stamped these ones with the production available. So 1 for a minor, 3 for a medium, 5 for a major. So that was quite simple, since a major cost 5 at 4 turns at $5, and a minor costs 2 turns at $5. We just slapped the medium right in the middle there at 3 turns at $5, or a 1 turn upgrade from a minor. So the second house rule is that Russia did not require Berlin to fall to declare war on the Allies. This has created a very bizarre game, and this is the reason I'm filming this. So we have South America. Nothing happened except for that guy over there made a mess of it, so I cleaned up all my neutrals. North America, nobody got attacked. They've just been simply funneling troops across the map to here. And thankfully, Russia declared war on the Allies before we were ready to start attacking Germany. So when they activated the Civil War that they won, the Americans had access to this Navy base. And that Navy base gave the Americans access to everything from the Netherlands and Scotland all the way down to Yugoslavia, Egypt, and through this sea zone here, Syria, Egypt, sorry. That should be Greece, not Egypt. So access to everything in the Med except for these 2 sea zones in 1 turn. The French were reduced to just Algeria. Everything else went Vichy. But with attack on the Vichy capital, everything reverted back to the French. And with the naval rolls, they got these ships back. Now there is no Axis fleet except for these 2 destroyers that were built by Italy last turn, and Americans were busy, so they did not attack that yet, because the 3rd consecutive wave of German transports landing in Scotland got repelled, 1 by the British, and 2, these are the survivors of the American fleet that took it out. Alright, let's see. The Americans have been, and the British have been bombing factories. Major factory here, the medium factory here, and the minor factory up here. So there's no production currently available in any of those, which is an excellent strategy if you want to stop your enemy from building troops and defending himself. Alright, so the Germans currently have just this 1 ship, and are 2 turns ago at the start of 1945, or the end of 44, I can't remember which one it was, the Germans declared war on the Russians, who had been staying out of it with the Germans because they both had this pact going on, which allowed them, the Russians had access to all their pact in a victory condition, and the Russians at the same time had taken over Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, all of Mongolia, almost all of Manchuria, except for South Korea where the Americans were parked. And they owned all of India, every single square piece of it. Having pushed the Allies all the way back to the Japanese-built factory in Siam, and they owned all of China except for right along here. These three territories on the end there. So the Americans and the Chinese and the British have all been collectively fighting the Russians on this side of the map, and the Russians were solely spending all their money here because they were not at war with the Germans. And when that changed, well, the tide changed. But this was all caused by, in the mid-1943, the blockade of Japan started. This is what's left of it. Japan's been attempting to break that. But with that blockade, Japan only collected the income from its home island of $7, which meant that all the bonus money it was getting from China, it got nothing. And yeah, that meant that China was not being built or defended by the Japanese, so everybody else started taking pieces of it. The Russians, the Germans, the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese were starting to eat it up. Even the Allies. And when that happened, when the Allies started moving in up the Burma Road from here, the Russians came in the back door and took out Calcutta. Very not fun. Alright, besides that, the Americans were building up here to take Japan. They've been spending all their money fighting the Russians. The last turn here, they just came out again to take this, but these pesky Russians have been building units in this factory here in Novosibirsk, causing some serious problems. And they've either been attacking through here, or to the south here. Alright. Americans have just been sending everything straight across that away. Australia has done nothing down here, have never actually fought anything down here. All the fighting has been up over there. Once the Japanese were eliminated, it was all against the Russians. This is actually the original battleship from the Far East Command. I use white for them, in case you were curious what that was. And this color is my Australians. So, we're down to, everybody's been spam landing and taking stuff back from the Germans, or from the Russians. The Russians are now down to just this force here with the two medium factories. And everybody's coming from the Middle East here, or landing off a transport from over here. Actually, those are colonials that got built. A colonial and a militia after it got taken last turn. Or 2 turns ago. So yes, and let's go to here, Africa. This factory has been very handy for the British, using transports. They've been both landing up here in India, or up here to fight the Italians, which had owned that. So, don't discount France. Look at what all the stuff France is doing for me. This is what happens when somebody discounts France and lets it just keep on building and building and building. France was the sledgehammer used on Italy and North Africa after the British can opener came up and hit it here in the Suez. Who knew? Normally it's the other way around. Anyway, that was a very entertaining and bizarre game. Here, just let's get you some totals here. So, these are the totals at the end of the war here. Australia, Japan, Italy, all collecting 7. Far East Command at 8. France is collecting 13. China is collecting 19. Britain at 26. Russia at 54. Germany at 59. And the Americans at 75. When it comes to tech, well, it's a little bit more bizarre here. For improved shipyards, pretty much everybody got that one except for Russia and France. Improved factories, everybody except for France took that one. And the wartime economy was a favorite. By the end of the war, every single nation, including France, was collecting wartime economy rolls. And Germans had advanced subs, but after a while couldn't spend the money on them. The Americans, the Germans, and the British have long-range aircraft. Very handy getting across Europe or to and from the Med, from London. This Russians almost there, thankfully not. The Americans with heavy bombers, very devastating. I had no idea till we got them this turn, but every carpet bomb is like attacking with 5 infantry for 1 round. 5 at 2. And the jet aircraft, nobody actually built them, but they just got completed. I think that was more like a tech race than anything else. Heavy armor, we've got the Russians and the Germans. They've both been using them constantly since about somewhere in the 42, 43 is when they got those. And advanced mechs, these are an annoying combination. If you can bring 2 advanced mechs along with 1 heavy armor, that's very, very, very annoying to fight against. And advanced artillery, the Russians have been driving around these Katyushkas non-stop. Very annoying. First strikes at 5 are not fun. Alright, so that's it. Grand total. Everybody, we just we added up our points, and the only reason Russia did not win is in the last couple turns here, Germany took off against them. And the Russians lost some home territory. For each one of those, they lose a point. So Russia was minus 1, 2, 3, 4 home territories, and they lost the pieces of the pack there. So that was another point that they had previously had. So that's 5 points that they lost in the last 2 turns. Kind of cheese, but yeah. I'll have to look at it here. They've got 4 points just here, right? Country territories that they own worth a point value. That's 4 Russian points. Actually 5 right there. These ones are worth nothing, so they're worth nothing points-wise. But yeah, that just balanced right out. Otherwise, they would have been winning. And the Axis did not win, thanks to Japan being annihilated or blockaded and stuck on its own homeland. Italy is pretty much in the same boat here. The only thing they have that's extra is Albania. No, they also have this. I guess they get something, but that's worth 0 points, but it doesn't matter for Italy. Italy doesn't care so long as it's a place. Germany was doing okay, but a lot of their victory points they couldn't get. So yeah, Russia was our big winner, with the Allies in second, although having Russia win these kind of took a point away from took a lot of points away from us as the Allies, in case you were wondering who I was. All right. So yeah, Russia won by 1 point is how it worked out. Until everybody, well, I can't even remember who won. It's kind of a moot point here. It's turned into a nothing but a nightmare of fighting everywhere. Anyway, Rank Kirkus, I'm signing off on this. Hopefully this was an entertaining video for you. If you want more of these, fire me a comment.